after Mega Man X5 left me kind of disappointed back in the year 2000, I kind of just quit paying attention to the new games in the series. I'd frequently go back to previous Mega Man games, mastering the NES originals and playing a ton of the first 4 X games, but I just didn't trust Capcom when they released new stuff. I do remember around that time a ROM was floating around the internet with a file name Mega Man 9. Or Rockman 9. I don't really remember which it was, honestly. Well, that game was Rockman and Forte. I tried playing a bit of it, but I just couldn't get into it. I did pick up the GBA remake when it came out the year after I graduated from high school, but again, I didn't end up getting into it and didn't put much time into it as a result. Rockman and Forte, or Mega Man and Bass, kinda sucks. I get why people are fans of the game. It looks great on the SNES. Getting PS1 graphics to fit on an SNES cartridge is super impressive. It was actually released after Mega Man 8. But I could never get past the weird level design and what feels like clunky controls. I don't feel like the gameplay is properly balanced between Mega Man and Bass like a lot of other people say it is. I've heard some pretty convincing arguments to the contrary, where people have said that the game's actually pretty excellent, and I've tried to play through it many times, and especially this recent time that I tried to play it, when I was even considering giving it a full video treatment, I just couldn't get into it. I'm just not a fan. I didn't really think too much about a new Mega Man game. When the series wound down, I was actually pretty content with the games I had. I had 8 classic Mega Man games and 4 good Mega Man X games, and that was enough to keep me satisfied. But then Mega Man 9 was announced. I remember getting a video game magazine sent to me while I was deployed to Iraq, and seeing that a new Mega Man game was in development, and it was going to throw back to the original 8-bit titles. So this might be where you think, Brasel goes nuts, and he cries, and he dances happily because a new Mega Man game is coming out. No, not really. I looked at it and said, that's neat, and then kind of forgot about it. When I got back to the States after my deployment, I remembered about Mega Man 9 and went ahead and downloaded it for the PS3, and it was good. I liked the game, but I remembered at the time thinking the music just didn't seem right somehow, and that some of the Robot Master designs, specifically Galaxy Man, just didn't look like they fit in the Mega Man universe. And the slide and charge shot were gone. What the f***? But I still enjoyed it, even though it was incredibly difficult, and I actually didn't beat it. Nope, I didn't beat Mega Man 9 until after I started working on my YouTube channel in 2014. Get the pitchforks! He's not a Mega Man fan! Everybody get him! No, trust me, I'm a Mega Man fan. I only spent the majority of my high school years making Mega Man fan sites on GeoCities and Angelfire. But the only thing I still have left to remember that by is some custom Mega Man sprites. Anyway, Mega Man 9. So yeah, now I love this game. A lot. After really getting back into the Mega Man series over the last few years, it's become one of, if not my favorite, classic Mega Man games. Yes, more than Mega Man 2, which, I'll admit, I'm actually kind of tired of. What made me fall in love with Mega Man 9? Well, after playing it several times and learning the level designs and enemy placement and, well, getting good at it, I started to notice just how well it was put together. The level designs are really fun and work great. The new gimmicks in most of the stages are new and haven't really been seen in Mega Man games before. The teleporters in Galaxy Man stage, the swinging platforms in Jewel Man stage, and the spinning platforms in Tornado Man stage, just to name a few, all take some time to master, but become really fun to traverse once you get the hang of them. I won't lie, some of these level gimmicks are pretty frustrating when you first start learning the game. Tornado Man stage in particular has made me want to throw my controller at the TV more than a few times. But looking back, every Mega Man game had similar issues. From disappearing blocks to platforms that dump you like a ton of bricks, there are tough points in every Mega Man game. But after playing these all a bajillion times over the years, it was weird getting into a Mega Man game and having to learn how to play it again. The lack of a Mega Buster makes the Robot Master weapons that much more important throughout the game. There are great points in almost every level to whip out a special ability. It feels more natural to do this than to just bust your way through the game like I've done in every other Mega Man game in the past. I'm not saying past Mega Man games didn't have useful weapons, it just feels like the Robot Master weapons in Mega Man 9 are better integrated into the level designs and the enemies you face. The Robot Masters themselves all have very Mega Man-like patterns that you need to learn to survive. In some cases, you can just use their weakness weapons to plow through them, but knowing the patterns just helps you take less damage, which helps a ton during the required refight in Wily's castle. They all look great and really fit into the Mega Man universe, except I don't know what it is, but Galaxy Man just doesn't look right. I think it's his eyes. His eyes really don't fit in with every other Mega Man boss. Maybe that's it. I don't know. He's a really fun one to fight though. The music is great too. Originally, I don't think I liked it as much because it was new, but after playing through it so many times now, the music fits in fine with the rest of the series, and a lot of these tracks are a lot better than the ones from the original games. Seriously. I'm not sure that they're completely NES authentic, but they sound authentic enough to me. My favorite track is definitely Wily Stage 1, and yes, it's better than Wily Stage 1 from Mega Man 2. Or at least, I'm just way less sick of this tune. Speaking of NES authentic, let's get to the graphics. They look very NES-like, but I'm pretty sure that in a lot of situations, especially some of the cutscenes, they wouldn't work on an actual NES. There are a lot more colors, I think. I may be wrong. But I'm not researching that because I'm lazy and I do this for fun. Ask someone else. But I do love the return of the NES type of graphical style. It just works so well for Mega Man. Arguably better than SNES or PS1 era graphics. It seems like the tight controls are really based around the 8-bit style. And of course, I just love good 8-bit or 8-bit styled graphics. There's an art to limiting what a developer can do and make things still look good. After beating all 8 Robot Masters, you get a very familiar cutscene with Dr. Wily. It plays out almost exactly like it does in Mega Man 2, with the same sound effects and everything. Then it's time to tackle some of the best Wily stages in the entire classic series. These levels not only use gimmicks from the Robot Master levels that you just beat, such as the lava bars from Magma Man stage, but they also add a bunch of others that you will need to use Robot Masters to get safely past. And the castle bosses are also unique and original. I really like the blobby devil-looking boss. It was really tough to figure out, but since it uses a set pattern, I was able to get to a point where I take very little damage from it. The submarine boss is really cool too, since you actually fight it in 3 stages. Wily's first form is a bit weird and tough, but honestly it's probably the weakest boss in the game. Ricocheting eggs back at his face is pretty annoying, and the pod fight at the end is pretty ho-hum. Like, how many Wily pod fights do we have to run through that play so similarly? Mega Man 9 also has some fun little perks for you after you've decided you are done with the normal game. There are hero and superhero modes for when you want a tougher challenge. They replace enemies and some obstacles within the levels to make the experience tougher. It's certainly fun and something I try out from time to time. There's an endless attack that counts the numbers of screens you were able to clear before dying, and it's super fun to boot. And of course there's the ability to play as Proto Man, who has the ability to slide and charge his buster, at the expense of receiving twice the damage Mega Man does, along with only being able to have 2 normal shots on screen at a time. Of course, on the PS3, Xbox 360, and Wii versions of Mega Man 9, all this stuff is downloadable content that you have to pay for. But if you get Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, it's all included, so that's probably the route I'd go. Mega Man 9 is an amazing game. It's probably my favorite classic Mega Man game now. It's just everything about it I just really enjoy, and I could sit here and gush as a little outro thing for a good couple minutes about Mega Man 9, but I think I've done enough of that. So I appreciate everybody watching. Later.